What would it take to get Kyle off of this show? I don't think he's gonna retire.
No, I don't think so. I think I'll be like home with the kids and Kyle will still be out in the Hamptons. Kyle's funeral will be on the show.
I made it nice! Going with the wind, fabulous.
That's my opinion!
So, this season is so good. How would you describe what it's been like for you watching back?
On a personal level, it's been a little rough because sometimes I feel bad with how snippy I was with Kyle. I won't ever tell him that. No, I've apologized to him. I'm like, okay, I was a little bit mean. But other than that, it's been really fun. We had a really great summer together. Obviously, they're highlighting some of our more frustrating moments. But at the end of the day, we had a good summer together too.
It's gotta be so hard for you watching back. I mean, people don't understand, like being on a reality show with your husband, in a group, partying, it's gotta be hard for you guys.
It is, and Kyle just like blurts out whatever's on his mind all the time, and I have to deal with that, and then we have to watch it and like have it all play out, so it's really difficult, and I understand anyone that hides their relationship on camera or like doesn't want to admit their flaws or what's really going on because it is so difficult dealing with the fans. Honestly, like the viewers, and then having to relive it and just be stuck with that forever.
I couldn't do it. So you are so brave, and I love how Kyle wears his heart on his sleeve. I mean, I know for you, it's like, babe, why did you say that? But for us, it's like endearing.
Yes.
So
I feel like if it's up to me, I'd probably hide a lot more, but that man really says whatever is on his mind. So everyone can thank Kyle for how vulnerable and honest we are with our relationship.
Yes. We finally get to see more insight into Carl and Lindsay's relationship. I feel like Carl kept saying like people are gonna see more of it and understand his side a little bit more. And it feels like we're finally kind of seeing it all play out. So as Lindsay's friend, did you ever kind of try to nudge her? I mean, we kind of see it, but did you ever try to nudge her and kind of say like, maybe this isn't right?
Yeah, so mine and Lindsay's relationship has always been like kind of touch and go, but there's a lot of love for each other at the end of the day. And in like the most polite way without upsetting her, I did try to kind of suggest like just pushing it back a little bit.
Right.
Because I felt like, you know, as someone else who got married and had like a rough summer before getting married, you want to be in a really good place with your significant other before the wedding day. And I just felt like there were some things that they weren't meeting eye to eye on, that they, you know, just taking more time to figure it out.
Right.
You know, being there in the summer, didn't think that they should call it off. I just thought maybe giving them a little more time, but it was hard. It was a sticky situation. And Lindsay is like, no, we're fine. I'm like, okay, never again.
I know.
I heard you.
You did. You were really the only one that tried to point out to her that calling him out on using drugs, even though he wasn't, was really hurtful to him. Do you feel like you got through to her in that scene at all?
No. Because I think she immediately was like, don't you see how hypocritical it is? And I didn't. But yeah, I don't think I got through to her in that aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now that they have split, obviously some time has passed, but I know that Carl and Kyle are still good friends. So how has that affected your dynamic with Carl?
I mean, Carl officiated our wedding. Right. So I've always had a really close relationship with Carl, and for the most part, my relationship with Carl has been better, like historically, than mine with Lindsay. But we got really close this summer. I mean, Carl, I had the blessing of being able to hear both sides of the story. So, you know, it's a sticky situation.
It's hard for all of you guys.
Yes.
You're all kind of in the middle of this,
you
know, so it's tricky.
Yeah, but I, you know, Carl and I are in a great place, and I have a lot of love for Carl, and I think he needs the support right now too.
Totally. Okay, there is this scene where Kyle calls out Jesse Solomon, who's a new cast member, for being vocal about hitting on Paige a little bit.
Yes.
And you got really mad.
Yes.
And I was actually, as a viewer, kind of like, I'm glad Kyle's calling this guy out because he's hitting on a woman spoken for.
Yes.
So what was going on in your mind in that moment?
I understand it's great TV, but this is my husband. This is like my other half. This man is a reflection of me. And Paige is a really good friend of mine, and so is Craig. And I was frustrated that, like, if it had gone south,
right. Okay.
that could have been really bad. Like, Jesse could have been really upset. Craig could have got really angry. Paige could have then been mad at, like, Kyle. Like, it's the anxiety of, like, what could have happened. But I was kind of silly about it at the table. I wasn't, like, super upset until later, because I had overheard West, Ciara, and Jesse talking about, like, how kind of messed up it was that Kyle did that. So when I overheard them, that's when I went back downstairs and was like, why would you do that? Like, you did hurt someone, and now people are talking about it.
Okay. I get that now a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because you are right. Craig took it very well as a mature man.
And we talked about it too, like in that
Yeah.
moment. We were like, thank God.
No, that all kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But as a viewer, I was very annoyed at Jesse for trying to hit on Paige, because I think Paige is my friend in my head. And I'm like,
protect her at all
why?
costs.
Right?
Yes.
I'm like, why is this guy trying to ruin Paige's relationship?
I know. No, I felt the same way. I was like, no, this is weird. Like, I don't love this.
Yeah.
But I would never call. I didn't want Craig to freak out.
It was the way Kyle did it, I think.
Because Craig has been very protective of Paige in the past.
Yes.
And I didn't want that to happen. I wanted it to be a good weekend.
I know. But it all went well.
It did.
Craig handled it very maturely.
Yes.
I was like, Paige, time to marry him.
Yes.
Let's go.
I know. Paige has done wonders on Craig. She really has worked hard.
She's trained him well.
She has.
I feel like he's almost there. I really want wedding bells for them. Do we think
know.
it's gonna happen?
I think it will happen, but on their timeline.
Okay.
And I don't know what that timeline looks like, but they're really good together.
Yeah.
And I think they're both hitting their stride right now in terms of like their businesses and what they're doing on a personal level. And there's no reason to rock that boat right now.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to see it like eventually.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right now, listen, if Kyle and I could be long distance, I would take that.
Yeah.
Being able to have like alone time and then together, that would be wonderful, an ideal relationship. I'm like, you should never move in together. Just get married and keep the situation.
I know.
Because it's keeping your sanity.
It's true. I have to say, you are one of the most normal reality stars on TV. Like, every time I'm watching the show, I'm like, I feel like Amanda is just too pure for this world. Like, why is she in this world? So what keeps you coming back every season?
Kyle. That's the reason I like got on the show, essentially. That's the reason that I like started it.
Right.
And that's kind of the reason that I'm still here. And I hear like little whispers on the internet and stuff of like, Amanda, should be like part-time or a friend of, and because Kyle is the show. So if he wants, well, he's not the whole show, but he's a huge part of it. He's been in from the beginning. People love him. So I'm just trying to be a supportive wife through it all. But I mean, I've made some amazing friendships now at this point, and I do have fun filming. Right. But yeah, I'm not the cookie cutter reality TV star that Kyle is.
No, you're not. But I don't agree. I think I don't agree about the friend of thing, because I think you need those. First of all, Kyle needs taping, so we need you there. But also, you do bring voice of reason to other people's conflicts. And like, even you bringing up to Lindsay the drug thing about Carl, like, you are vocal and you do kind of try to be the voice of reason to people at times where I don't know that other people could.
Yeah, I play devil's advocate.
Yes.
And Ciara and Paige get really mad about it sometimes because they just want someone to like back them up. I'm like, okay, but hear me out. What if?
Yes. You're
what
very
if they didn't
level-headed.
mean it like that? Or like, what if this is like what actually happened?
Totally.
Yeah. So it was actually recently. Ciara reached out to me. She's like, Amanda, I need you to play devil's advocate. Here's what I want to do. Tell me why I shouldn't do this.
Right.
And I told her, and she was like, you're right.
It's a good friend to have.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ciara, everyone's like obsessed with her and Wes. They're so cute together.
They are.
I love it.
I know.
We're seeing a softer side of her in a way, like a, you know, like a
the
she
cutesy,
couldn't do
like
that with
vulnerable.
Austin. Yeah,
We
like-
got a glimpse of it, I think, in Winter House with Austin.
Yeah.
Like a tiny glimpse, but she's really kind of letting her walls down and being that like soft Ciara. Yeah.
So what can you tell us? I know you can't say much, but what can you tell us about where they're at?
They are both in New York.
Okay. Are you rooting for them?
I had so much fun watching them together all summer. Like, almost made me not like jealous of them, but like jealous of that, you know, beginning of relationship, like butterfly, you know, feeling. It was really cute just seeing them, and like they hung out all the time together, and you know, it was really cute to watch, and I'm enjoying watching it back again.
It's really sweet.
Yeah.
Well,
They're really cute together.
I really hope we get to the end of the season with them together. Like, I don't know, there's like a big reveal. Like, I'm rooting for it. Who knows?
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen. So we hear you talk about kind of being ready to settle down. I mean, you guys are already married, but the city is a fast life. You have a business. You're ready to kind of move to Jersey, slow it down a little bit. Where are you guys at with that?
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
We've not progressed at all. We have our apartment. We have the office that's like next door to our apartment. So we have a really good setup right now.
Right.
We're not, you know, trying to have children in this moment.
Okay.
But I think, you know, the conversation will have to get more serious once I'm pregnant. I think that'll Kyle works really good under pressure. So I think there has to be like things happening in order for decisions to be made.
Okay.
So I'm staying in the city as long as I can stick it out for, and then hopefully he reciprocates and he's like, okay, you did your job, I'll do mine, and I'll move out.
Okay.
But we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. I am always back and forth on it too.
It's true. Well, because you have such a great life right now, you
Yeah.
know, and you guys seem really happy and things are going well. Jersey, I'm from Jersey, so
Same,
it's different.
and yes,
You
it
know?
is different, but I mean, we always talked about how we wanted to grow up, like, or we wanted to raise our kids in the suburbs and have like, you know, we both played like in the middle of the road with our neighbors. Like, we
Yeah.
want to give our kids that life. So that's why it's a little confusing sometimes when he's like talking about like how he doesn't want to. I'm like,
Yeah.
this was something that we both agreed on and said, you know, before we got married. But I mean, the time will come. I go back and forth. Like, when I'm with friends outside of the city that have kids, I'm like, I want to be a mom. So like, someone like impregnate me right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm ready.
Someone-
Like,
it
give me
doesn't
your
have to be
baby.
my
Yeah.
husband.
Like, I want this so bad. Like, you know, my ovaries are like screaming. I'm like, this is the life I need. And then I go back into the city and we go out to a bar and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not ready for kids.
Right.
Like, this is how I want to, you know, be doing things right now. So
I couldn't relate more.
Yeah.
I totally
it just
understand.
depends where I am.
I know. And you guys have so much fun in the summer. So
Yeah.
what would it take to get Kyle off of this show? I don't think he's gonna retire.
No, I don't think so. I think I'll be like home with the kids and Kyle will still be out in the Hamptons. Like, he'll probably be like the guy that owns the house and lets like the new cast rent it. And
Yeah.
he'll just be like hanging out upstairs.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised.
No, I said Kyle's funeral will be on the show. If the show lasts that long, like, yeah, there will be a funeral for Kyle on the show, for sure.
I can't. Okay, what can you tease for us for the rest of the season? What else is there?
My gosh, we have, I mean, there's still a lot of silly moments. We have 2 really amazing themed parties coming up that might be the best themed parties that we've ever had. We as a cast had a ton of fun, and they were just the costumes. Ciara pulls out some more amazing, incredible costumes.